Of course. I'm going to put this here for a second and come right back. Of course, right when I start the live, I end up having to go pee, right? So, in fact, in the interim, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take y'all, I'm going to show y'all my awards, right? So we got, what is this? Top Annuity Producer 2021, right? Hold on, if I see that there, right? Let's turn it around. Let's turn the camera around so you guys can see this. Top Annuity Producer for 2021. Top Annuity Producer for 2022. Top Annuity Producer for 2023. Right? And then Top Life Insurance Producer for 2023. So I shall be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just go to the bathroom. And then we'll be back any minute. I'll be back in a minute to come with y'all. Let me just hit this bathroom right fast. And I'm gonna share it out to the public. Take 2 magnesium pills. All right. Let me share this live out to a few folks. All right. Now that I done shared this out a few places. Oh, you know what? Give me one more second. Let me just share it out one more place. Let me share it to, what's the name? Right. So, yes. Salute, folks. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall, your social media insurance broker, returning today with another episode of Blunts and Books. Shoot. Today's book is, we're continuing with the book by Mark Kwan, Top 25 Ways an Index Universal Life Insurance Policy Can Secure Your Financial Future and Create a Tax-Free Family Bank. Before I go in, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Oh, snap. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. So I'm going to take y'all outside with me as I go through this. Right now, I got to go to my car because can't have a blunts and book session without a blunt, right? Got the book, but no blunt. Can't do a blunt and book without a blunt, right? But, you know, and it's legal. I say all that because you'll see your attorneys and your politicians with a glass of scotch. So if you got a problem with a gentleman smoking a legal smoke, then hey, what can I say? But, you know, that's a problem of your own. At any rate, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, this video. So again, we're going to be talking, um, and he's also the author of Rich Man, Poor Bank, and the Top 10 Ways to Avoid Taxes, right? This particular book, there's a book written by Nelson Nash that a lot of people who are just now getting into the infinite banking concept are following behind. Prime example, the principal of my company. And I realized that I've likely outgrown him because he internet. There's levels to it, just like your favorite rapper Mills said, right? So a lot of people aren't going to understand how to use your life insurance to get a mortgage or to qualify for a loan or to have it add to your net worth, right? But that's just like most people only buy term insurance, right? Well, I was speaking to a client of mine today, and he was like, yo, break this down for me. Like, what's the deal with term insurance? And I said, well, let's use you as an example. Let's say you bought a $250,000 policy that was whole life, but you paid $500 a month for it, right? But it builds cash value, this, that, and the third. An agent will come to you and say, well, why would you pay $500 a month for a $250,000 death benefit when you can pay $60 a month for a $500,000 death benefit? And while the shit sounds nice, because you're renting, thank you, because you're renting your death benefit. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. While the shit sounds nice because you're renting your death benefit, the reality is, you're not getting anything at the end of that term, right? For example, let's say you pay $100 a month for 20 years. So at the end of 20 years, you've paid $24,000 for this death benefit because they'll tell you buy term and invest the difference. So what that means is you plan on dying in 19 years, right? So you're telling your family, listen, I plan on my investment somehow matriculating and exploding in 10 years so fast that I'm not going to need life insurance. Oh yeah, and it's going to be able for me to pass this shit down to your tax free. Oh yeah, and you see how non-possible a lot of this stuff is? Now it sounds nice because, hey, the life insurance policy is cheaper. And that's what my client said. He was like, so explain this term insurance to me. And I said, well, what happens is, it's substantially cheaper. If you buy a policy today, that's a term policy, you keep it until the end of the term. Now, at the end of the term, you have no more life insurance. He was like, that sounds like a jackass move. Why would I buy a life insurance policy that at the end? He says, so do I get my money back at the end of the term? The answer is generally no. That's called level term. And level term, you don't get anything back at the end of the term. Right? I'm going to take y'all with me to the downtown green and read outside and, smoke and talk while I'm walking. But so at the end of that term, you don't get anything back. So if you don't get anything back at the end of that term, what is the purpose of that term policy, right? Then it's like, okay, well, if you buy a term policy, that's great, because buy term, invest the difference is great advice for some people who it makes sense for. But what you're saying is, one, you're going to guarantee that your investments explode to a point where you don't need this life insurance policy. And then your investments are also going to do so well that you're going to be able to avoid capital gains taxes, or with paying capital gains taxes, right? Which Joe Biden is trying to raise to damn near 40%, right? So you make $1,000, you got to give the government $400 plus, right? Then after paying capital gains taxes, oh, well now you have to live off of that money as retirement income until you die, plus you're supposed to pass this money down to the next generation tax-free. How do you think that's possible? If for every $1,000 that you made, you got to give the government $400. And don't have been working with a financial advisor. Then you're going to have what's called 220 fees, right? So after paying Joe Biden $400 off of that 1,000, you got to pay me, the financial advisor, my 20%, which is $200 off of that 1,000. So at the end of the day, you only came up $400. It doesn't become worth it for the average person, right? Meanwhile, accredited investors can go ahead and do so. But most of you people are not accredited investors. So most of you people go into it with substantial amounts of protections, but you're blocked from stuff. So what happens? You get stuff like Acorn and Robinhood and Stash Invest that come out and let you buy fractions of a share, right? Which is actually impossible. The reality is, if I wanted to buy, and I'm not going all the way to the downtown green, I'm just going to walk around and go back toward my house. But if I went to Ruth Chris Steakhouse and they had a 72-ounce steak that you could buy, but you either had to buy the steak and eat it there, or you don't get the steak, right? So I go buy the steak, and then I chop it into pieces, and I sell you a bite of steak, a forkful, for $25. Did you actually experience the 72-ounce steak? No. What you did was fall for the same bullshit that all these fake-ass investor people are telling you online. Invest with me. Buy this stock. NVIDIA. QQQ. This shit sounds nice, right? Just like you would think that, right? Prime example. LeBron James, greatest basketball player of all time. So you'd assume his sons are going to be great, and now they're getting coached into basketball, right? But the reality is that's not always going to happen, right? Let's take Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, considered the GOAT. So since he's so great, his son should have automatically come into the game and be great. Well, that didn't happen. Why? Because, again, just like your favorite quote-unquote bullshit investor who comes and lies to you and tells you all this dumb shit to make you feel good, it sounds nice to say, well, Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player, so his sons are going to be just as good. Have you heard of any of Michael Jordan's sons in the NBA? No. Why? Because they didn't got the skills to pay the bills. Just like Stocks with Mo, Daddy Day Trader, Wall Street Trapper, what these motherfuckers don't have is the actual credentials. Which means that they didn't go to basketball camp to learn how to dribble the ball. So no, they're not just going to come and get drafted into the NBA and be this super duper star. Because you have to practice your craft. Right? So the same applies with finances and financial services. Right? I was watching a young lady earlier today, and she said probably one of the most poignant, smartest things that I've seen, especially for Black America. Right? You know, a lot of these people are just face pieces, right? Like you look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z never owned the Brooklyn Nets. What he did was he owned a 1% stake, which is basically like $10 million worth of $1 billion. And then he's the face of it. So what happens is all of our people like sheep, oh, Jay-Z owns the Nets. And we spend shit tons of money. And then the bazillionaire who owns the Nets gets a shit ton of money because he paid Jay-Z $10 million to be the fucking dancing monkey that you idiots follow. Right? Just like Ciroc. Well, come to find out, Puffy didn't own Ciroc. It was a white billionaire company that paid Diddy to be the dancing fucking monkey so you black people would be like, ooh, Ciroc boys! Right? That's all they are, is dancing fucking monkeys. Right? And then it gets your attention. And now you're like, ooh, this dancing monkey. I'd rather have dinner with Jay-Z, because he's a dancing monkey. And Jay-Z's gonna make me some. Jay-Z ain't gonna make you shit. Jay-Z don't know shit but how to rap on beats. He has no actual marketable skills. His business decisions are, I'm going to go use my name and just like you fuck niggas on YouTube and social media. You use your platform for influence. Because, I got 70,000 followers. I got 70,000 subscribers. Come on my channel and people will... Well, that's what the fuck Jay-Z and Puff Diddy did. Except they had a big-ass check for it. What's good, Brody? Chilling? Right? So, that's what ends up happening. Right? Again, they're just fucking dancing monkeys. And you people don't notice it. Right? But, like, prime example. Beats by Dre, which was owned by Dre, he sold to Apple. But that was an actual product that he actually bought and endorsed. That's why it was Beats by Dre. He partnered with HP. They did their thing. But you don't generally see that. Jay-Z doesn't have anything by Sean Carter, right? What you guys don't know is I happen to know the person who does Jay-Z's mother's taxes in Brooklyn, New York, right? And Jay-Z's mother gets paid from S. Carter Enterprises, right? S. Carter Enterprises is Jay-Z, right? But it's not the regular shit that you generally don't hear about, right? It's a bit larger scale than that. So now that I come up on the destination, I'm gonna have me a seat. You got the rest of this.
Thank you, sir. Have a good
No
day.
doubt, boss. You have a good one.
You do the same thing.
All right. Get ready for y'all. Whip out the book. And I'm gonna pick up where I left off at. Right? It's another thing, us brothers, seem to have a problem with. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Right? I'm 40 fucking years old. There's no reason I should be out here in a t-shirt and jeans like my 22-year-old counterpart. But leave it to a lot of black men, and that's what the fuck we gotta be out here looking like. Right? Nothing wrong with dressing in a t-shirt and jeans. Nothing at all. But come on. You 45 years old and you're complaining, oh, everybody's George Floyding me. Everybody's putting their knee on my neck. Well, then maybe we need to grow ourselves up. Something. Change your look. Something. Oh, they used to hang us when we were in suits. Yeah, but we used to have solidarity too. We used to at least get respect from each other. Why don't our women respect you? Because you're 45 years old and you look like you're fucking 22. This woman can't tell the difference. You're dressed like you're 22. You listen to music like you're 22. You wear your hair like you're 22. So why would a grown-ass woman respect your funky ass? At any rate, let's continue. So, where we left off, we're on chapter 1, Why Now? Right? So in my lifetime, I truly hope we don't see another Great Depression, where the market lost 90% of its value. But with the United States in $24+ trillion in debt, Medicare drastically underfunded, and the Social Security Trust Fund running out of reserves by 2034, I think it's a possibility. During the Great Depression, it took 26 years for the markets to recover to their previous high. Can you wait 26 years for your portfolio to recover? So here's the problem. Most of you motherfuckers can't wait 26 minutes, which means you shouldn't be investing because you don't have the discipline. You don't have the risk tolerance. You don't have the time horizon. You don't hear any of these words coming from your bullshit investor people. What's going on, Chief? Right? All you hear from your bullshit investor people is the bullshit. Oh, invest in this. We're dollar cost averaging. The CPM, we're up. Bullshit. You don't hear the reality, right? So, excuse the fuck out of me for charging a fee for actually giving you the knowledge. You would pay to go to fucking college, so pay me for the knowledge. Or get the fuck on, right? So, as I sit home writing this, while also having a number of conversations with clients and the advisors that I train, I feel fortunate that I have a stable income, multiple streams of income, reserves for a short and long term, and investments that did not lose money. While most other advisors are taking calls from scared clients, I just received another thank you text from a client. Since 2013, he has been funding a significant amount of money each year into an IUL. The text read, Mark, I'm so glad I have my life insurance that doesn't dip below 0%. Everyone is going to make a ton of money when this swings back up. Hope you're well, man. When I called him back, my client wasn't scared at all. In fact, he was excited. We discussed all the great opportunities to invest now that the markets have crashed and the stocks are on sale. Right? So, the purpose of this book, right? You see it right here. So, the purpose of this book is not to tell you that you are doing that what you are doing is incorrect and that you should not invest in the markets. The stock market is a valuable tool for building wealth. It's actually a valuable tool for preserving wealth. See, the wealthy don't go into the stock market to gain wealth or to what is called accrete. See, those fake stock motherfuckers don't even know what accrete means. Accrete means to go up, just like decrease means to go down. They'll just be like, hey, we're up. We're up. The ABC went up. The stock market price went up. They can't tell you why or how, right? Again, just like if you go to Ruth Chris, you can't go to Ruth Chris and tell them, hey, I'd like to buy a forkful of steak. They will tell you gladly, excuse me, sir, get the fuck out of our establishment. But if you go sit down and buy an entire steak, they'll let you to buy an entire steak. Now, what things like Investopedia, Robinhood, Stash, Acorn, all these things have done was allowed you to go to Ruth Chris or allowed you to come to a guy who bought the steak from Ruth Chris and pay him $25 for a bite of his steak. So you can say, hey, I experienced the Ruth Chris steak, but you did not experience the Ruth Chris steak. How did you not experience the Ruth Chris steak? Because you had to take a bite out of the steak prepared the way he wanted it. So he happens to eat his steak well done, burnt to a crisp. Well, that's not the way you eat your steak normally. You eat your steak medium well when you cook it or when you go to a steakhouse, right? When you go to the regular steakhouse and the steak is only $45 for a steak, you get yours medium well or medium. But now, because all these fuckheads online, hey, listen, go to the Ruth Chris guy. He's gonna let you eat a piece of steak for $25. But it's not prepared the way you want to have your steak. So have you actually experienced it? Or did you just go eat somebody else's steak? You ate somebody else's steak. Same thing with Wall Street Bets, who, just so you know, Wall Street Bets was nothing more than a licensed insurance agent at my broker-dealer, Mass Mutual. What ended up happening was the broker-dealer, Mass Mutual, screwed him out of a commission. So he said, oh, yeah? You want to play smart? You want to screw me out of a commission? Watch this. Now I screw you out of $48 million fucking dollars. And I screw the American public, because the average American doesn't have the risk tolerance or the time horizon to actually invest in this. See, it sounds nice to say, I'm going to invest, when most Americans don't have access to $500, let alone $1,000 in the event of an emergency. Which, if you don't have access to $1,000 in the event of an emergency, there's no fucking way on God's green earth that you should be investing. Right? Because you can't afford to invest. Because you don't have the risk tolerance. Risk tolerance, again, a word that none of these bullshit people will tell you about. And yeah, I curse, I rap, I spit, and I listen to gangster rap. But me saying the word fuck is a whole lot less harmful than the conditions that you leave your family in listening to these fucking fake people. Right? So if you get offended by me saying fuck, offend your fucking self by going to the bullshit. Because you don't have another 26 years to wait to recover from listening to Wall Street Trapper. Wall Street Trapper, who has his jump off the porch. You can learn how to invest without actually getting the license course that's $697. Well, guess what? If you go to KaplanFinancialEducation.com, you can actually pay for the Series 7 study exam manual, and it's $497. $200 less than Wall Street Trapper. But it sounds nice to listen to Wall Street Trapper, right? That's just like you dumb motherfuckers who took fucking dinner with Jay-Z over actually getting $500,000. And then somebody did a meme, and they were sitting down with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z was like, yeah, this salmon is scrumptious. And the guy was like, man, listen, I took this meeting to learn from you. And Jay-Z was like, oh, well, my first piece of advice, next time somebody offers you $500,000 for dinner with me, take the $500,000. Oh, my fucking God. That is what it took for you to actually follow through with that? Shit sounds dumb as fuck now. Right? But It sounded nice at first to be like, hey, I'm going to take dinner with Jay-Z. What is Jay-Z going to tell you that's going to make you anything other than aggravated? He might make you happy you ate. Yeah, man, this here salmon, it's your boy Hove. We're eating salmon and lobster. He's not going to teach you how to become a millionaire like him. Do you think it's going to be osmosis? Warren Buffett doesn't have any fucking courses. But he's the top investor, right? Him and Charlie Munger. But you don't hear Warren Buffett, hey, come to my course. It's only $99.95. And for the first 500 people who sign up, it's only $95. And then you see this motherfucker on a Ferrari or a yacht. You think he got that from his day trades? Or you think he got that from yo dumbass paying $9.97 to learn some shit? He got that from 100 of you motherfuckers paying $9.97 to learn some shit. Because I'm going to give you the shortcut. But then I sit here and I talk to people, right? Oh yeah, the swing trade, the ETF. I've been listening to all these stock people for 10 years. Then I'm like, oh, well, why don't you just go on the S&P 500 1 year point to point? What's that? I've been listening to these stock people for 10 years and never heard that. Well, that's because I actually have my license to do this shit. Just like I don't have my license to cut hair, right? So when I want my hair cut and I have clippers, I can give myself a bald head. But when I wanted to get the banker's fade with the nice part and the blend and all that shit, I had to go to my cousin, who's a licensed barber. I wonder why. To get the result that I wanted, I had to go to the professional. Not to some fucking Wall Street trapper, Trade with Jay, some fucking TikTok individual. Right? So again, yes, I'm passionate about this shit. Why? Because I'm a motherfucker who got shot 5 times in front of his mother. 3 days before Mother's Day in 2008. So yeah, I get salty when I see these bullshit people up here doing bullshit. Right? It's just like if you're the main fry cook at McDonald's, right? And your job is to cook fucking French fries. And then somebody is saying, oh, to get the McDonald's French fries, all you have to do is this. And it's absolutely wrong. You're going to say no. That's not how you get the McDonald's crispy French fries. We fry our fries in fucking, beef tallow. And then we salt them immediately afterwards. Right? But these motherfuckers, nah, just pop your French fries in the microwave for 3 minutes and you'll have fries as crispy as McDonald's. Well, unfortunately, that ain't true. So anyway, the purpose of this book, so the stock market is a valuable tool for building wealth, and it will continue to do so long after the coronavirus pandemic has passed. Like I said, this guy wrote this book during the pandemic. So, this book has 4 objectives. 1 is to educate you about the innovation in IULs, that's Index Universal Life Insurance, and the many benefits, including grow money in the market risk-free and tax-free, protect it from taxes, inflation, and market declines, access your money tax-free at any age, pass wealth to heirs tax-free, and many more in this book. Number 2, to educate you about strategies to provide inexpensive permanent life insurance and long-term care for asset protection and pay for it with tax-free profit. Because people will say dumb shit, I don't need life insurance, I'm going to just get it before I die. I'll buy term insurance and invest the difference. What are you going to put your money in that's going to guarantee this 10% all these phantom motherfuckers tell you about? Let's use some real life math and real life happening. 2008, let's say you put $100,000 into the market. Oh shit, 2008, the market declined by 35%. So you lost $35,000 of your $100,000. Let's use some fake math, and so that $35,000 now brings you down to $65,000. Let's say the next year, from some act of God, the market went up 40%. Well, the market going back up 40% does not put you back at the $100,000. It puts you at $85,000. So you're still $15,000 off from your start. But it sounds nice. What ends up happening is a financial advisor, here's what happens. Financial advisors get paid off of something called AUM, Assets Under Management, right? So while life insurance likely is the more beneficial product for you, the consumer. What's more beneficial for me, the advisor? The quote unquote fiduciary. Because the only fiduciary obligation that a person has is to tell you how much they get paid or how they get paid, and if what they're recommending is a conflict of interest. But again, the wool has been pulled over your eye. I'm a fiduciary. I have to give a fuck about you. I don't have to give a fuck about anything as a fiduciary. How do I know I'm a fucking fiduciary? Right? And the reality is, all I have to do is tell you, hey, I get paid a commission off of this recommendation, and this recommendation isn't a conflict of interest. I have then legally fulfilled my fiduciary obligation. Right? Just like the cops have to read you your rights, right? If they arrest you, you have the right to remain silent. If you say anything else, they've already started Mirandizing you. They are now taken care of. They don't even have to finish reading you your Mirandized rights. They just have to start Mirandizing you. And then they've covered their legal obligation. But again, the shit sounds nice, right? Just like we talk this generational wealth bullshit. Don't believe me. Please, go to Google. Type in Google, how many years is a generation? It'll tell you between 20 and 30 years. So let's just go on the low end and say that it's 20 years. Now, if you go to Google and look, what is the average annual income of an American? They'll tell you it's approximately $50,000. What's 50,000 times 20? 1 million. So motherfuckers running around, what's going on, boss? Talking about, I have $250,000 worth of life insurance, but I make $50,000 a year. First of all, leaving $1 million death benefit to your family is not leaving generational wealth. That's leaving one generation of just fucking making it. Because if you're making $50,000 a year, you're just fucking making it in America. That's not wealth. So leaving $1 million is just leaving one generation of just fucking making it. Here's how you really want to do it. You want to get a $10 million death benefit, and when you pass, instead of leaving that to your heirs, that's when you want to get that money market account. That money market account is safe growth. It's going to give you 0.5% interest annually. What is 0.5% of 10 million? It happens to be 50,000 in perpetuity. But what happens is, a lot of these fake motherfuckers don't get to that level. Right? There's a reason Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James are considered the GOATs. Because they're obsessed in their craft, right? There's a reason. Let's look at 3 people who played for the LA Lakers who are considered mediocre, right? Jack shit, and the greatest of all time. Well, mediocre would be your boy Lamar Odom, right? Lamar Odom, great from high school, college, came into the NBA. He was great, but then he had a drug habit, fucked them all up, right? Then, look at somebody else who came from high school, great in high school. Then he came to the pros. He even played with Kobe Bryant and Lamar Odom. A gentleman by the name of Smush Parker. Nobody knows who Smush Parker is. Why? Because he wasn't obsessed with his craft. He rested on the laurels of, like a lot of individuals, I got the license, so that's all that's necessary. Well, just because you get the license doesn't mean you've practiced your craft. Now, let's look at someone who's considered the greatest, one of the greats of all time, Kobe Bryant. Well, Kobe Bryant was obsessed with his craft. He studied it day in and day out. It's like me. I study this shit day in and day out. So I know more than your average financial advisor. Now, the problem is, well, why aren't you rich? Because I work on 100% commission. So I'm only as rich as my poorest client. Right? It is what it is. But again, most financial advisors get paid off of assets under management. So I'd prefer for you to invest your money with me. But by the way, even though I get paid off of assets under management, I don't get paid on the performance of those assets under management. I get paid on the assets under management. So once I take your money and you quote unquote invest, I don't give a fuck what happens to your money. You lose money or make money, I don't give a fuck, because I'm charging you 2 and 20 fees. 2% of your net worth annually, 20% of your capital gains. So why do I care if you accrete or decrease? I don't care. Right? But the shit sounds nice for me. Don't go get life insurance. That's a scam. Meanwhile, I'm scamming the shit out of you, charging you 2 and 20 fees, and you feel good because you bought a mutual fund from me 17 years ago, ain't bought shit, but you're worth $100,000, so you're paying me $2,000 a year for the fuck of it. Right? Now it starts to not make so much sense. So, we're going to educate you about strategies to provide inexpensive permanent life insurance and long-term care for asset protection and pay it forward with tax-free profit. Number 3, show you how to build your own how to build your own tax-free family bank and be able to borrow it for the purposes of paying off real estate, funding college expenses, buying real estate, more effective after a market decline, paying off debt with tax-free earnings, investing in the markets, more effective after a market decline, providing supplemental tax-free retirement income. Wait, this is all the things life insurance can do? I thought it was just a check for somebody after I died. If you want to just give somebody a check after you die, yeah, term insurance is great. But if you really want to be like the wealthy, go Google BOLI, bank-owned life insurance. You'll see that in 2019, Bank of America put $6 billion into the stock market, right? It put $22 billion into cash value life insurance. If I put fucking 3 times as much money into cash value life insurance as I did into the stock market, why are they telling everybody I'm going to do what the banks do? Well, the banks don't invest in the stock market heavily. Not if it's 3 to 1. For every $1 they're putting in the stock market, they're putting $3.50 in cash value life insurance. Google it. BOLI. What is BOLI? Bank-owned life insurance. What is COLI? Corporate-owned life insurance. 2009, Michael Moore, the guy who made the documentary Bowling for Columbine, all of a sudden, no fucking body knows who Michael Moore is, right? Well, he created a documentary called Capitalism, A Love Affair. And it broke down how companies like Walmart, Procter & Gamble, Visa, Amity Bank. So all you people saying, I got life insurance from my job, what you have is COLI, corporate-owned life insurance. Walmart is a big company who dealt with this, right? So in 2009, Amity Bank, a guy who was a manager at Amity Bank, died from cancer. Amity Bank got $5 million from the life insurance they had on him. You know what his family got? Goose egg. But he was like, oh, I'm good. I got life insurance from my job. 2 things are bad with that. 1, life insurance from your job is not portable. So that means you quit, you get fired, you leave and find another job, your life insurance is kaput. Doesn't exist anymore because it's not portable. You can't take it with you, right? Unless you get a key man policy or a 162 executive bonus plan. Ask your fucking fake investors what a 162 executive bonus plan is. Also, go to Google. Please don't believe me. Go to Google and put in Democrats blast PPLI, right? What is PPLI? Private placement life insurance. There's an article from February of 2024 where it shows the Democrats are trying to go after private placement life insurance because they say the wealthy are using it as a tax loophole. Wait, is that why they came up with Tamra 7Pay? Because the wealthy were using life insurance as a tax hole? Because it's a product. If there was a product that I told you could stuff unlimited amounts of money in, pay $0 in taxes, have zero concern about market risk, and the money grows tax deferred, you'd shove money in that. Now, if I tell you it's life insurance, oh, I don't want that shit. But if I just said it was a product that you could do that, you'd fucking be lining up to suck my dick. Right? Why? Because the shit sounds nice. Right? Life insurance doesn't sound nice. Right? But when you look at the reality, life insurance is not a check for somebody when I die. That's death insurance or term life insurance. So let's look at the modicum. Buy term insurance, invest the difference. It sounds nice until you realize, first of all, invest the difference means that you have to have a budget. So the minimum investment is $10,000, which equals $834 a month. So if you're having difficulty paying $200 or $300 a month, I don't give a fuck if it's term or whole life insurance. How the fuck are you going to come with $834 a month to invest? You're not. Right? Why do you need a minimum of $10,000 to invest? Something called an SAR, Suspicious Activity Report. This has to be filled out by your financial institution and given to the IRS. So do you think they want people investing with less than $10,000? No. Why? Because then the IRS can't look at that and they can't get their cut. So if you're investing with less than $10,000, all the fuck you're doing is giving somebody your money. It's like if I was a cocaine salesman and I said, hey, I have a bag of salt. Come give me $50 for this bag of salt. But I actually sold fucking pounds of cocaine. You wouldn't then come to me and say, hey, I bought this cocaine. No, nigga, you bought a bag of fucking salt and gave me $50 for it, you dumb fuck. Right? You wouldn't do that. But now that it's equated to something tangible, and the reason I use the term cocaine is because if you go to Google and type in Colombian cocaine cartel life insurance, you'll find an article from December 10th, 2002, where the Colombian cocaine cartel hid $80 million of drug money in life insurance policies. I know black men been selling cocaine since I was 16. I'm 40. The niggas ain't sold a kilo yet. This is 5 motherfuckers indicted. 1 motherfucker for moving 13 tons of cocaine a week. Make it make sense. Right? But yet in the hood, I gotta hear mad niggas, I'm El Chapo. Well, the real El Chapo is hiding money in life insurance. Why aren't you? Because you ain't El Chapo, nigga. You failed Chapo, cuz. Now, a lot of this also comes from the fact that a lot of brothers don't know about this shit. And it sounds too good to be true. But it's the reality, right? But if I were to tell you to, let's go get some crypto, you'd be all over the crypto. The fucking meme coin. They literally call it meme coins. And you fuckers are investing in meme coins. Meme coins. Meme. Which means like the Jordan crying face and all that bullshit. Right? But when I say it like that, oh, I'm the asshole. I'm the mean guy. I'm the unprofessional one. I'll be that. Where'd I put my blunt? Oh, shit. I left my blunt in the car. Oh, no, I didn't. It's right here. I thought I had another cigarette. I guess I don't. Right? But let's continue this book just a little bit. Right? I've been going for 40 minutes and barely read 2 pages of this book. But that's because I know most of it in here. So, the other thing is going to protect your 401k from running out of money in retirement and do all of the above with OPM. What is OPM? Everybody loves real estate, right? What is OPM? Which is why life insurance is fucking smart instead of buy term, invest the difference, right? You hear the wealthy talk about OPM all the time. What is OPM? For any of my real estate folks, you know what OPM is. Other people's money. It's literally in the manual for your real estate exam. Oh, by the way, I was also a realtor in New York City and a financial advisor in New York City. So when I speak from a perspective different than your average motherfucker. Different than your funky ass guy who's working at Morgan Stanley in your small town making $100,000 a year. I was getting that per quarter, every 3 fucking months. Right? It's also going to do all of the above with OPM, the most powerful strategy used by the top 1% to build great wealth. Again, this ain't me. This is the book. This ain't my black ass saying it because I know how you niggas are. We talk about white people being racist, but let a black person tell you something. Oh, I don't believe that, nigga. So I ain't worried about white people being racist because I do more business with the quote-unquote racist white guy than I do with a bunch of black folk. Because a bunch of black folk, I can't do business with this nigga. I can't trust this nigga. So I depend on white people. So excuse me for not feeling they're racist, because they put fucking money in my pocket. When's the last time your black ass put a dime in my pocket? Never? So get the fuck out of my face. So, why IUL? Why Index Universal Life Insurance? How does it not lose money? Throughout this book, I am intentionally going to be repetitive, where I believe the message or lesson is very important to understand. Some of this material may also overlap parts of the top 10 ways to avoid taxes. In chapter 6 of that book, The Rich Man's Roth, because everybody's always talking to me, oh, get a Roth IRA, get the backdoor Roth, which a backdoor Roth is fucking stupid as fuck. You still have to pay taxes. Why wouldn't you get a LERP? which is a life insurance retirement plan, where you completely avoid taxes. Prime example, I have a client, he's 45 years old, no wife, no kids. Why the fuck does he need $3.2 million of death benefit? Well, part of it is because it's a 162 executive bonus plan. So part of it is he's paying for part of his life insurance through his business, which is a tax write-off for his business. It's also employee benefit for him. He's also going to use the buy, borrow, die strategy. He's also going to use part of that $3.2 million death benefit to go acquire real estate using OPM. But everybody else is teaching you the exact fucking opposite. So, in chapter 6 of that book, The Rich Man's Roth, I wrote about how I discovered the IUL. I'm assuming you requested chapter 6 and you read it and have a general understanding of the IUL. Index Universal Life, or IUL, is regulated under Internal Revenue Code 7702. FYI, let's talk about some IRCs, right? You know, 401k is not a product. 401k is tax code. It's Internal Revenue Code. 403b is tax code. It's Internal Revenue Code. So your fucking retirement accounts, FYI, were created because of something called a DB plan, which is a pension, right? So DB, or defined benefit plan, which is a pension, was starting to lose insurance companies money because people were doing this thing called living too long. See, we used to be like, okay, you're retired at 65, you'll die by 70. So we just got to pay you $2,000 a month for 5 years. But now people are starting to retire at 65 and live till 90. Or 80. So now we got to pay you for 15 years or 20 years. So what they did was, we're tired of the defined benefit plan. So the insurance company said, okay, let's transfer the risk of the investment from us and your employer to you, the employee. Now you'll get something called a DC, or defined contribution plan, which is the 401k. So defined contribution plan, aka 401k, which is tax code, transfers the risk from the insurance company and your employer to you. So now they tell you, instead of a defined benefit plan, when you retire, we're guaranteeing you X amount of dollars a month for the rest of your life. They're going to say, hey, we guarantee that if you put in X amount of dollars a month for this period of time, then when you retire, you'll get X amount of dollars a month for this period of time. So let's say you save up $400,000, right? And again, we're not even going to talk about the fact that if it's 401k, it's tax deferred, so you have to pay taxes on that money, right? We're not even going to use the fact that you got to pay taxes on it. So you save up that $400,000, and now you have to pay income tax and capital gains tax. So you have to pay capital gains tax on whatever grew above what you contributed, right? So let's say you contributed, $100,000. Well, now you have to pay income tax. And in the last 40 years, have you seen income tax go up or go down? I can tell you, in the last 40 years, I've only seen income tax go up. So the likelihood is that in the next 20 to 40 years, when you retire, income tax is going to have gone up, not down. So now you're going to have to pay higher income tax on that $100,000 you put away 20 years ago because you wanted to save some tax dollars up front, right? Because ironically enough, a fiduciary like myself will tell you, pay the taxes now so you don't have to take that hit in the future. And so you'll pay the taxes up front, right? But with a 401k, you don't pay the taxes up front. So now you're 65 years old. Well, it's not like you're going to go back to work. You don't want to go back to work. You're 65 years old. You've been working for the last 60 years. I don't want to fucking go back to work. I want to enjoy my final years. Okay, so let's say you have $400,000 saved up in this account. Well, 401ks pay out something called period certain. That's why it's a defined contribution plan. So what does period certain mean? Well, that period certain means, well, we've calculated you got $400,000. I'm not even going to include the fact that you're going to be taxed on it. Let's just assume that you're paying the tax, and after the taxes, you're going to have $400,000. Well, that breaks down to $40,000 a year for 10 years, which is why you see the fucking old lady checking receipts at Walmart at 75, because she thought she had a great fucking plan. I got my 401k. I'm good. I don't need to talk to you, Alonzo. Your alternative funding and all that is bullshit. Okay. Oh, that's why you're checking my receipts at Walmart, because that $40,000 a year was only for 10 years and you're out of your money. Because it was period certain. Your advisor didn't tell you that. You mean the guy at Merrill Lynch, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Morgan Stanley didn't tell you that? Why? Because he got paid a huge ass commission and doesn't have to give a fuck. He doesn't have a relationship with his clients. He gets paid by the wirehouse. He can't get personally sued like I can. You won't personally sue that guy. You'll sue Morgan Stanley. But Morgan Stanley has billion-dollar lawyers. Do you think you're going to win? No. What they're going to do is they're going to show that you signed the paperwork, you signed this agreeing to this, and you were under coherent, you weren't coerced to do anything wrong. So, Index Universal Life, or IUL, is regulated under Internal Revenue Code 7702 and 7702A. This tax code, last revised in 1988, regulates how much of your after-tax money can be funded into a permanent life insurance policy. There really is no cap to the annual amount you can fund into an IUL. So, the larger the policy, the more you can invest. Flip side, 401k, the max you can put is $23,000. So, if the max you can put is $23,000, do you think if I'm maxing out my 401k at $23,000, 20 years in the future, do you think $23,000 is going to be substantial enough for me to live off of? Probably the fuck not. Because if I could afford to stash away $23,000 a year, that means that my lifestyle has substantially dwarfed $23,000 a year. Make it make sense. Right? So, there really is no cap to the annual amount that you can fund into an IUL, as the larger the policy, the more you can invest. IRC 7702A regulates all types of cash value life insurance policies, including whole life insurance, universal life insurance, variable universal life insurance, and indexed universal life insurance. We will also cover how term insurance fits into your planning, because you should have all of the insurance, right? I'm not a person like, you'll hear these people who, again, are bullshit artists. Buy term, invest the difference. Compared to what? What am I comparing this to? Invest the difference as compared to a whole life policy with the same death benefit, or different features and benefits, right? Because getting a term life policy, you're betting, basically. You're betting, hey, I am 20 years old. I'm going to get this 20-year term policy. I'm betting that my investments are going to skyrocket so well that by the time I'm 39, my investments will have done so well that I'll be able to pay all my capital gains taxes, live off of these investments for the rest of my life, which is God knows how long, through my retirement, and pass down tax-free an inheritance to my heirs. Not possible, but the shit sounds nice, right? Just like it sounds nice for me to say, listen, I am a starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers on NBA 2K. But in real life, I can't be a starting point guard for your fucking kid's AAU team, because I suck at basketball. But I'm a starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, everybody. Everybody, I'm a starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers in NBA 2K, the video game. But I don't mention that. I just say, hey, I'm a starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers in NBA 2K. I'm a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots on Madden NFL 25, the video game. Because if you put me on the actual football field, one play, I need to sub out. I'm out of breath. Coach, sub me out. Put me on the basketball court one time. Coach, sub me out. I ran up this court one time. It's harder than in real life. Right? That's the reality of the situation. But again, the shit sounds nice. Right? So, if you want to go, and then, for example, people don't even know there's different types of term insurance, right? So, for example, there's annual renewable term, which is the term life insurance policy that you've gotten for 1 year. So, I'm 40 years old today. I buy an annual renewable term policy of $1 million. It costs me $12 $20 a month. Give me 1 second. Sorry, y'all, that was my mom. So let's say I get a $1 million 1 year term, annual renewable term. Because what an annually renewable term is that at the end of the term, the policy automatically restarts. And most all term insurance is annually renewable, right? It's kind of like a CD, where when your term on your CD ends, if you don't catch it right then and there, they just automatically roll it into another term of the CD, certificate of deposit, right? They send you a letter in the mail like a month or two before. Hey, your CD term is coming up, knowing you're never going to look at the paperwork. So when the term comes up, oh, and then they fuck around and roll it over again and you get jack shit for it, right? So it's the same thing. So an annually renewable term, let's say it's $20 a month for a $1 million term for a 40-year-old man. So 2020, what is it, 2024, till 2025, I got $1 million worth of term insurance. But if I don't die, get the fuck off my phone. If I don't die in that year, I get nothing. But it's annually renewable, so it's going to automatically renew when I'm 41. I'll still have that $1 million death benefit. But now instead of $20 a month, what's 20 times 12, right? So $140, right? So instead of it being $140 a year, it's going to be $140 a month, because term insurance just goes up in price, right? So annually renewable term is a term policy that increases every year. That is also something called level term. So every year the policy goes, my death benefit stays the same. Then you'll have something called mortgage protection life insurance, which is a decreasing term. So that is when you get a mortgage, you want to protect your investment, right? So you'll get a decreasing term. So what that means is I'm 40 years old, this $1 million policy is $100 a month, right? But then 10 years goes by, well, the idea is that the price of my mortgage went down, so the death benefit goes down. But I still got to pay the $100 a month for my death benefit to decrease. Okay? Then there's something called return of premium term, or ROP, which is substantially more expensive than traditional term, but at least with ROP term, you get your money back at the end of the term. So, as long as you don't lapse a payment, at the end of your 20 years, you'll get some money back. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I just got called from my mother, so I'm probably going to have to go do some shit, so I'm going to hop off of here. But before I do, let me finish with the terms. So you have, return of premium term, which at the end you get all your money back. Right? So now let's also look at some of the types of policies they have here. So you've got whole life insurance. Whole life insurance is not all built the same either, right? So you've got traditional whole life insurance, which is the one that they tell you build cash value and you can borrow from. But let me ask you something. How stupid is it to borrow from your life insurance? It's pretty stupid. But that's what everybody tells you, to borrow from your life insurance. Why would you borrow from your life insurance as opposed to borrow against your life insurance? Oh, what? You mean I can borrow against it? Yes. Right? Because there's a substantially larger number. Borrowing from your life insurance implies that you've stuffed money in there and there's money to borrow from. Whereas if you borrow against it, let's say you have $1 million death benefit. If you borrow against your death benefit, then you have $1 million to borrow against. Why would I borrow from my life insurance as opposed to against my life insurance? But again, a lot of motherfuckers don't even know this shit is an option. Right? A lot of motherfuckers right now are talking about be your own bank with life insurance. Use the IUL to be your own bank. Be very careful. Like I said, IUL is one of my favorite products. I'll explain to you why. I get ginormous checks from selling index universal life insurance. So the average commission, just so you know, for an insurance agent, on the low end is 50% of what you pay into the policy per year. On the high end, we get paid up to as much as 140%. I'm on a 70% contract. So I get 70% of what you pay for the year. So if you pay $1,000 into this life insurance policy for the year, this doesn't come out of your policy or out of your pocket. The insurance company will pay me $700 out of that $1,000, or 70% of what you pay for the year. I have client. I'll give you an example. Last year, I had a client who, one policy, my check was 30 grand. One policy. So I get ginormous checks off of this shit, right? But why do I get ginormous checks off of this shit? Because it's benefiting my client. Do you think my client who pulls in $1 million a year would just willy-nilly throw $60,000, $70,000 into a life insurance policy for no fucking reason? No, he's wealthy. Oh, ironically enough, his accountant, his CPA, is a gentleman by the name of Bruce Seckendorf. Bruce Seckendorf happens to be the accountant for the G-Unit rapper 50 Cent. Now, 50 Cent is not my client, but my client happens to be in the entertainment industry. Right? But why would he do something like this? Well, because wealthy people like to live off of OPM. Wealthy people like to do this type of shit, right? And what way for me to get wealthier than keeping you poor, right? Exactly the easiest way to do it, right? So whole life insurance, you got guaranteed issue or final expense, which is that bullshit you see on TV. Hold on, it's the wife. Alright, y'all, I'm about to hop off this shit because I keep getting phone calls. Unfortunately, it's none of you motherfuckers calling me to be a client right now, right? But the reality is, like I was saying, so you got something called guaranteed issue, right? So guaranteed issue is a whole life insurance policy. The problem is, it is not really meant to build cash value, even though it does build cash value. It's a guaranteed issue. So this is for, people who waited to get old. It's a maximum of $25,000 death benefit. It's literally just there to pay for your funeral, right? And then again, you've got guaranteed issue. You got traditional whole life. But then you've got properly structured or properly funded whole life, which means that you're going to overpay for the life insurance. Because the way that people balloon or infinite bank is they buy less death benefit and more, and they spend more cash on it, right? Because it's a forced savings account. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall, your social media insurance broker, and I just whapped and tapped on your head with another ADH wealth solution. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. Now, as I told you, ladies and gentlemen, success is not a pretty process, right? Which is why I say wipe ass. It just happens to be the acronym for work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And remember, folks, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.